This part is where Lai and Ying have to walk from their dig site to Maytown. And in this passage, Ying is thinking back to the original track from Cooktown to Palmer River. She repositions the pole into the grooves of her shoulders between bone and skin, bunching the fabric of her shirt to cushion the hard bamboo. If they stop to rest soon, she will remove 2 of her monthly cloths from her belongings and use them to pad her shoulders beneath the pole. Ying knows this walk is only for 1 whole day, perhaps 2 if Aki has indeed held them up. She thinks of their initial hike from the coast to this field of gold, in a small band of men, much like this. The countless days upon days upon days, tortuous, relentless, the tight embrace of the heat. Shuffling through scrubland, branches whipping her arms and cheeks, leaving a map of scars across her skin. Tramping over arid land, no surrender in the sun's brutal rays. Striding through waist-high water was bad enough. They lost a sack of rice that way and a full crate of chickens. The Ying hated it when they had to make their way through gullies, how the softened, damp skin of the blisters on her feet tore open, became oozy. Worst was the weight of the poles, laden on either side with rice, panning equipment, water, her grandmother's medicines and mortar and pestle, which she was sorely tempted to desert. Ying reminds herself that she must place the cloths under the pole. She looks up at Lai Ye walking ahead. There is still the shadow of blood across the fabric of his shirt from where the constant scrape of the pole broke skin. The bloodstains on Ying's shirt are no longer visible. Hers has become a uniform rusty colour of dirt and sweat. But she remembers those evenings, gently peeling the material away from where it had melded with the wound, meshed with the dried blood. Unbearable. But not quite unbearable, because didn't she make it? To be longlisted in the ARA Historical Novel Prize is hugely thrilling and just such an honour in this inaugural year. I love writing historical fiction, so it's been really lovely to be acknowledged in this competition. I think historical fiction is important because it allows us as readers and writers to know more about the past and those who weren't written about and investigated, such as women and the working class or the culturally diverse. And even though historical fiction is based in the past, it can often reflect contemporary concerns, and it can show how far we've come as a society, but also illuminate how far we might still have to go.
I'm going to begin with the very beginning of Damascus, right from almost when I started writing this novel, or thinking about this novel, because there's the thinking that comes first. I knew I wanted to start with an image of a young woman about to be stoned to death, because that was, the novel is about the emergence of Christianity in the ancient world. And one of the pivotal stories that has, from childhood, fascinated me and humbled me in Christianity is the story of not throwing the first stone and what that means. So this is the beginning. The world is in darkness. The hood the guards have placed over her head scratches at her cheeks and neck. She takes fleeting comfort from the smell of the greasy fibre, the odours of sheep and goat. From her first memory, their bleating was part of her life. They were her companions during the day and over countless nights, when she joined them in their rough stable to escape the drunken violence of her father and her brothers, and then that of her husband. The warm bodies of the goats had been her solace and her bed. They had been her work and her friends. She also recognises another smell, far more noxious: fear. How many others has this hood covered? The stink of their terror is soaked through the fibres. With every hoarse breath, she too releases the acrid taint of fear. She must not let them know her dread. She prays. Our Lord is a shepherd. He is not a king or a priest or a master. Our Lord is a shepherd. With every silent repetition of that prayer, the demon that is fear subsides. She falls into calmness. The rope that binds the call is loosened and a tremor of light battles with the darkness. The hood is snatched off her and the overwhelming sunlight burns her eyes. The world is white, blinding, terrifying white. At first there's only the brilliance of that light, and then she discerns the shadows. And as these shadows take form, she sees that she is in the centre of a circle. Surrounding her are bearded men, each one holding a rock. As her eyes adjust to the day, she can see the sun flaring off the wall of the sacred city. Then she sees crows and vultures wheeling above her. They are in a gully, it is a cursed ground. And with that thought, fear reclaims her. On this ground, she will die. Look, I think awards are important because, I look at my fellow nominees in the long list and I think there are books that are written and really deserve attention and really deserve acclaim. And it's sometimes hard. There's so much information in the world at the moment for books to get the light, the moment in the light that they need. And so an award, a nomination like this just gives a little light.
This is chapter 1. I was born on Nuremberg. Can you hear it? Nuremberg. If you say it right, it hits your mouth and you should taste blood in your words. Every person around should learn the word for country in the old language, the first language, because that is the way to all time, to time travel. You can go all the way back. My daddy was Buddy Gondawindi and he died a young man by the hands of a bygone disease. My mother was Augustine and she died an old woman by the grip of, well, it was an old world disease too. Yet nothing ever really dies. Instead, it all goes beneath your feet, beside you, part of you. Look there, grass on the side of the road, tree bending in the wind, fish in the river, fish on your plate, fish feeding you. Nothing is ever gone. Soon when I change, I won't be dead. I always memorize John 11:26. Whoever lives and believes in me shall never die, yet life rushed through and past me as it will for each person. Before I believed everything they taught me, I thought when all were dead that all were gone, and so as a young fella I tried to find my place in this short life. I only wanted to decide for myself how I'd live it, but that was a big ask in a country that had a plan for me, already mapped in my veins since before I was born. The one thing I thought I could control was my own head. It seemed the most sensible thing to do was to live well. So in a country where we weren't really allowed to be, I decided to get water from the stones, you see. After I met my beautiful wife, although beauty was the least of her, strong and fearless was the most of her. She taught me lots of things. Big thing, best thing she taught me was to learn to write the words too. I wasn't just a second-rate man raised on white flour and Christianity. It was my wife Elsie who brought me the first dictionary. I think she knew she was planting a seed, germinating something inside me when she did that. What a companion the dictionary is. There are stories in that book that'll knock your boots off. To this day, it remains my prized possession, and I wouldn't trade it for all the tea in China. The dictionary from Elsie is why I'm writing it down. It was my introduction to the idea of recording. Written just like the Reverend once wrote births and baptisms at the mission, just like the station manager wrote rations at the station, and just like the ma'ams and masters wrote our good behaviour at the boys' home. A list of words any fool can look up and be told the meaning.